Hey, it's Byron from FireBoard. Today we're going to learn how to set up a beacon with your FireBoard 2. First of all, you need a FireBoard 2 and you need the antenna that comes with our FireBoard 2 beacon bundle. You only need one antenna for up to 32 beacons, so generally one of these base stations with the antenna should take care of most facilities. You'll need the beacon and the batteries that we send with it. Now we use Energizer Ultimate Lithium batteries. We've tested these to be they're just better in the environments that you typically put the beacon. So when you have to replace these batteries every year or so, we encourage you to use the Energizer Ultimate Lithium batteries. So we pop the batteries in, and then we put the cover on. I should have been showing you that. So then we put the cover on. Now you have to be careful. There's a little button there. Make sure the cover hole goes over that button. We'll talk about that button later. And then you clamp this down. That will activate the beacon so that we can see it in our app. So of course most of the setup is going to happen in the app, so we'll open up the app. We'll go to the settings in the lower right hand corner, and then we're going to say add a FireBoard. First of all, we'll have to note that your FireBoard 2, in my case it says FireBoard or Funk FB2D at 501. That's the FireBoard I'm using. Make sure that it's active, that it has Bluetooth enabled and Wi-Fi settings are enabled on that. That you'll have to set up previously. So we're going to say add FireBoard, and then it's going to search for a little bit. In my case, we have a lot of beacons and things around our office here, so I'm going to have to search for the correct beacon. In your case, most of the time it'll just show up as one of the things that just one beacon, each one that you're setting up. So this happens to be the beacon that I'm setting up. Immediately it sets up a broadcast interval. So you can set it up to send a packet of data to the base station every 30 seconds, minute, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes. Now, the quicker you do that, so if you do 30 seconds, what will happen is it'll just wear out the battery a little faster. 10 minutes we won't send that data as often, so the battery will last longer. I don't know what I recommend. I usually do 5 minutes or 1 minute. We're going to just do 5 minutes at this time. And so basically the beacon is now set up. However, we want to call it something. So rather than SJH37D4Z, we're going to go in here and change the device name. We're going to call it something like Freezer 1. Okay, so now that beacon is named Freezer 1. So we go back here and it says beacon, the serial number, and then Freezer 1. Now, if you ever want to change the intervals, you just have to click on that beacon. You go in here to advanced settings, you do readings interval, and you can change that to whatever you want in that place. So that's something that even though it's set up from the very beginning, you're not locked in to that for the rest of your beacon's life. So we're going to go back to the dashboard. Sometimes it takes a little bit for this data to show up because of the readings interval, but we show here that it's showing temperature and humidity. Now the beacon is a 3-channel device because we have a probe port as well. Now I don't have anything plugged into that at this point, but if you wanted another temperature stuck into some meat or some water or some glycol or something like that, you could certainly use the beacon for that. But this is just showing temperature and humidity of Freezer 1. If we wanted to be able to look at this dashboard and understand a little easier, we can actually name these something different. So here I can say Freezer 1 temperature. Oops, I didn't get the 1. There we go. 1 temperature, and I go back. And we can do the same thing to do the humidity. All I'm doing is tapping on the name and the info comes up. So now we're calling it Freezer 1 humidity. And there we go. Now those things are named appropriately. And so if you have multiple beacons, now you can see that at a glance of what's going on. The beacon not only provides this data to you, but you can also set alerts. So now we're going to go back and we're going to click on that. It says Freezer 1 temperature. We're going to add a new alert. So we click on that. And we set up an alert. So we say the freezer max temperature, we're going to get an alert if it's at like 20 degrees. and our minimum temperature, we're going to say 0 degrees. And then we have several different ways of notifications. We can do app through the FireBoard app. We can get an email, or we can send SMS notifications. So I'm going to do SMS and app notifications. So now we have that alert set up for freezer 1 temperature. You can do that for humidity. You can do that for the probe. So it's very versatile in what you can show. All right, so that's the basics of how to set up a beacon. Interestingly, since I have this beacon set up in this room and I set it up for 20 degrees and it's 70 some degrees in here, I'm already getting alerts that my freezer is way too warm. So that's awesome, it works great. I talked about this button on the back. What it does is when you push that button, it automatically sends data to the base station at that moment. So I'm going to push it here and we may see a notification pop up on screen because it's sending that data that says, hey, the temperature is too high in this case. Now also on the base station, it shows the freezer 1 now. Previously, it didn't have anything, or when I first set it up, it showed the serial number. So now the name right here says freezer 1, and it would show that for all the beacons that you would have set up. So that's the basics of setting up a beacon. Again, the base station with the antenna, the beacon with the batteries. You put this wherever you want. It sends you data, it sends alerts, and away you go. So enjoy your beacons. Hopefully they work well for you. If you have any issues, give our customer service a call. We'd be happy to help you out with whatever you need. Thanks for watching.